Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Mudit Bharadwaj. I'm a senior technical instructor and corporate trainer. So without explaining about my introduction, let's start with the demo session. So in this demo session, I'll let you know about uh, a concept, a very important concept of React.js, in which we'll be trying to demonstrate some technical factors. So we'll be having a problem statement. By using that problem statement, we'll try to solve that by using some problem solving approaches. And we will try to use some core concepts of React.js in that as well. So the problem statement will be, we just have to use a public API to extract some data from that. And after the extraction of the data, we have to use two states of React. First, to load the data, and the second, to check the error state. So first will be to check the loading state, and the second will be to check the error state. And after extraction of the data, what we have to do with that data, we have to present that data on our UI. So we'll be having some options to present the data on our UI. So what we will be doing, we'll be presenting our data not in the JSON format. We'll be presenting our data in the format of list. So this is what we have to do for now. So without delaying in this, I'll be letting you know about each and everything from scratch. We'll be starting from level 0. First, we will try to understand how to build a React project in our local machine. And after the complete installation part of the default project of React in our system, then we'll be moving ahead to the problem statement part. Okay. So guys, as I told you, my name is Mudit Bharadwaj. Today we'll be just discussing about this. Okay. So before discussing more about the problem statement, let me just share my screen with you all so that we'll be just discussing about everything with the screen. Okay. So for now, I am expecting that I have shared my screen and you are visible. Uh, my screen is visible to you all. So let me just minimize that. Let me just minimize that. Okay. So first, what I have to do, I have to open my VS Code. In this VS Code, what I have done for you as a prerequisite. So I have just created a problem document file in which I have pasted the problem which we have to solve by using our approaches. And I have created a folder named demo code nest. So what we have to do in the problem statement, we'll be having a public API. By using some React concepts, we have to fetch the data from that public API. And then we have to build a small React frontend in which we'll be using some functional components, and we'll be adding some React states in that functional components to resolve our problem. So that React frontend will be displaying the data either in the form of list or in the form of tables or in the form of cards. So it depends completely on us. And what is the other thing which is in the problem statement? That is that we have to include loading and error states as well. So whenever we will be rendering our page, we have to make sure that loading is happening on the re-rendering, and it is checking the errors as well in the stateful components or not. Okay, so this is our problem statement. Now I'll be simplifying the solution strategy for you by writing the steps. So our first step will be uh, building, installing the default project of React. Then second, we will download, uh, no, after installing of the default project of React, we will make the changes according to our implementation part. Okay, so this is what we have to do. Guys, I'll try my level best to make this project very easy and very simplifying for you all. So it will be very interesting as well when we will be dealing with some interesting topics like use effect and all like that. So it is not going to be very typical, very complex architecture. It will be very simple. Just focus on that. And one more thing, yeah, I'm expecting in my mind that you are having the sufficient knowledge of JavaScript. Your foundations are strong. As well, you are having the knowledge of basic React because it is really very important to understand some key points. Because in this short demo, I cannot explain each and everything to you in detail. So I'm just expecting this. And from that mindset, I am starting. Okay, fine. So now there is one thing which I have to do. If I have to build the React project, so what is that thing which I'll be needing? So I'll need a build tool. So by using that build tool, I can create my React default project. So there are many tools in the markets, but the best one is Vite. So Vite is a front-end tooling which provides multiple frameworks, tools, libraries, and architectures. So that by using any tool, any library, we can build a project. So it's a web tooling. It's a web tooling which is used to build the web applications. So what we have to do, we have to search on, just wait, let me just hide that part, hide video panel, sorry, show video panel and hide here. Now that is perfect, I think. So what I have to do here, I have to search for wheat. So as we can just read about that, if you want to research about that part, if you want to learn something more about that, so you can click on guide and you can learn more about that. But what we have to do for now, there is a command which is written here for node package manager. Guys, you have to make sure that you are selecting, you are copying the command of node package manager. Yeah, one more thing. Before creating your React project, you have to make sure that in your system, Node package is installed. So in your system, Node.js should be installed, and it is installed or not. How you can check? So what you will be doing, you will be opening your terminal. In the terminal, the first command to check your npm, you have to write npm flag v. So you are trying to find the version of npm, updated version of npm, which is installed in your local machine. You can see. So this means my npm has been, my node package manager has been installed. It is already installed in my machine. And to check the node, I can write node v. So yeah, I am completely sure about that. In my machine, node and npm is working properly. Now what I have to do, I just copied a command of npm of v tooling. I am now pasting it. This is my first step. After writing this command to create Vite front tooling of latest. So this at the rate is flag. This means that which version I am using of Vite tooling. So I'm using the latest version, whatever the latest version is. Okay, so I'm trying to create a Vite tooling. So now it is asking me that what project name which you would like to give. So I can give any name. Suppose I am just giving the name of uh, technical player, technical players. This is my project name. Any name you can give. You can give your own name as well. Okay, now it is asking me to select a framework on which I have to build my application, web application. So there are multiple options as you can see here: Vanilla, Vue, React, Preact, Lit, Welt, Solid. But what I have to choose, I have to choose only React. So on React, I am just clicking on enter. Now it is asking me to select my variant. Variant is nothing on which language I just want to use that framework, that library. So I want to use a simple JavaScript language here. Okay. Now it is asking me that are you okay to install with npm and are you okay to start now? Yeah, I'm completely okay to start now. So that's it. Now it is doing what? It is just doing, it is just installing some dependencies with npm. So what does it mean that I'm just trying to install some dependencies with npm? So Node Package Manager is a package manager which is having multiple numbers of packages. So the duty of Node Package Manager is to install the packages in my local machine to build my application so that my application will be runnable. So installing multiple dependencies means to say there'll be multiple dependencies which I'll be needing to create my project, my default project, to make some changes in my project so that I'll be able to see something in the output format. So as you can see here, 151 packages has been added, and in that packages like 152 packages are audited in this 8 second. So 36 packages are looking for funding, but I just don't want to fund any package. I just go with very simple things. And now it is starting my developer server so that I'll be able to see whatever I am writing in code. So that what will be the output of that. It is giving me my project name. Okay. And now here, as I can see, there is a local host server which is being provided by my Vite application. So that after clicking on that with command or control, I'll be able to see the default output of my project. So if I'll be just as I am using Mac, so I'll be using command. In your system, if you are using desktop or if you are using Windows, sorry, so you can click control plus click. So I'll be using command plus click, and I can see this is the default output of my React project. So what I have to do, I have to replace this with a website. So I have to write some code to change this UI to my website, anything which I want to do. So first I need to know that where is that code written, which is providing me this output, because where my code is written of this output, that will be my main file now. So now I have to find out that where I have written the code of this output, and wherever I have written the code of this output, that will be my main file. Okay, now it's time to understand this default directory, which is being uh, generated by using my Vite application. So this is my default directory. We have to understand all the things which are written in this, which are here in this, so that we'll be able to understand the foundational knowledge that which thing is used for which purpose. So this is the project name. There is some node modules. What are node modules? So node modules are the modules which are used for the running of our application. Without node modules, we cannot run our application. In this node modules, hundreds or thousands of modules are automatically saved, which are really very useful from the aspect of running of our application. Without node modules, we cannot run our application. And what kind of node modules which are there in this node module folder? Something like, let me just give you one example of that. There are some transcompilers which are in this. Transcompilers, like if I'm writing some uh, code in JavaScript language, but in React, we never use JavaScript code. We use JSX code, JavaScript plus XML code. So to compile that JavaScript code to JSX code, we need a transcompiler. So wherever that code is written of transcompiling the language, so there'll be a module which is stored in that node modules folder. So there are multiple packages. There are hundreds or thousands of packages which are directly installed from internet, which are here in this node modules. So what we have to do, we just have to just understand about this. There is no need to open it to understand it in very deep dive. Just you should have the proper knowledge for the interview level that what is the use of node modules. Whenever you are deploying your code, your entire repository code on GitHub, so you can uninstall that. In the latest version, we are using the node modules. Sorry, in the latest versions, this node module is automatically visible. Otherwise, in the previous versions, we have to use the command of npm npm install to install the node modules. Okay, fine. So the second folder is public folder. So public folder is used to store multiple images, multiple publicly data, which we have to use in our project. And the source folder is the main core folder in which we have to do a development work. So as I was just letting you know that where is the code of this output. So app.jsx is the main file. Why this is the main file? Okay, let me just do something for you. So whatever the thing which is written in this return part, I'll be delete that. Okay, just wait. Yeah, guys, these are called fragments. So whenever, if by any chance we'll be learning something in future, then definitely I'll just let you know each and everything is step by step. Just imagine in your mind that these are kind of container. That's all. But better than container to optimize the memory. Okay. So suppose if I'm writing here something in my own language, like uh, and I'm writing H2. You know the HTML. I'm expecting that you have the knowledge of HTML, basic HTML. This is heading 2. So I'm writing something here like this is Mudit Hardwaj. Okay, fine. So this is I'm writing here. I'm using command S, and now I'm trying to check. Hey, you can see the entire thing has been changed, and now I can see this is Mudit Bhardwaj. So now I am completely confident that whatever the changes which I am doing here, it is visible there. Okay, so this is my main file. Now what I have to do, I have to start my problem statement implementation. So what I'll be doing in this source folder, I'll be creating a component because I have to create a functional component in the according to the problem statement. So components, in this components folder, I'll be creating one file named user list because I have to create the user list now. The data which I'll be extracting from that public API, I'll be converting the data into a list. That will be the list of users. So user list. And what kind of file it will be? It will be a JSX file. Got it. Amazing. So till now, we have just created a user list file. Now what we have to do? Now we have to start writing the code part. So in the starting part, what I have to write? First, I have to use my states. So I have to import two states. I'm just zooming in. It will be much better. Import use a state, use effect. Guys, I cannot explain each and everything to you, but I'll try to explain as much as I can because we have to cover up the entire things in this single video. So I'm installing, importing user state and use effect. In the very simple lines, I am just letting you know what is used in the use effect. Use state is used to change the state. If we have to update the state, whatever we have the components, we want to update the state, we use state. Use effect we use to add on some side effects, or if I have to fetch some data, whatever the changes which are being updated by changing the states, but additionally I just have to add on some side effects when we are updating the state, and I just want that those changes should be happen as well with the changing of my update, changing of my state, sorry. So I'll be using use effect. So basically it is used for adding some side effects, fetching some data, uh changing in my DOM, something like that. Okay, so now I'll be creating some states. uh so I'll be writing const, I'll be creating a functional component, guys, here, which is very important. So the name of my functional component is user list. I'll be using my arrow function here. Okay, fine. And now I'm going to create my uh states. This is my functional component. Okay, user list. Now what I have to do, I have to write const uh const and okay. So now how many states I have to write here? I have to build the states for three things. The first thing, error. The second thing, uh loading. Loading state and error state, two states I have to create, and third state is users. So I'll be starting it with users. Okay. So I'll be writing users and set users fine equals to user state. That's it. Second will be for loading. Loading, set loading fine and user state. That's amazing. Okay. So loading should be true because initially this is the place where we always used to give the initial state. So I am just starting it with a true, and the third will be for errors. So const errors, errors or error, whatever we want to write, we can write set. Guys, always remember that when we are dealing with the states, we always have to write set in the update set state part. State name, but we have to use camel case as well. Okay, error set error equals to user state. And what should be the initial state of that? Null. Because in initial part, we are not expecting any kind of errors. Okay, fine. Till now it is done. Now what I have to do? Now I have to use UseEffect to add on some side effects, I can say. So in the UseEffect, what I am doing, I am just creating an arrow function, which will be the initial part of that. And I try to fetch some data. So fetch function is used for fetching some data. Now I have to fetch some data from a public API. So as I told you that we'll be using a public API. So this is the public API which I have written here. I'll be copying that and I'll be pasting it here. So this work has been done. Now, after the fetching of data, I have to deal with few things. The first thing is I have to check the data. I have to check the errors and I have to check the response. So first I have to check the response. So I'll be using promises here. First promise for check the response. Okay. So I hope that you know the usage of promises here. Promise is nothing, just an object which let us know about the eventual completion of any task. So here we are using dot then function which checks for the response side for the positive part. And we use the catch function to catch some errors. Okay, so here I am using the response. And in that response, what I am doing, I am just using a if else state to check my response part. So if the response is not okay, in that case, what will happen? So it will throw an error which will let me know failed to fetch data. Fine. Okay, but else I can write return. What it will return? It will return me the response. But in which format? In JSON format. Because I want the response in JSON format now. Okay, so this is my first thing. Now what I have to do? Okay, fine. This is ended here. This is ended here. Okay, second thing. So I'll be just, because most of the time we used to do this kind of mistake. Now again dot then function. Now this that function is for the data part, because we have to deal with the data as well. Now suppose if my response is positive, then how I'll be dealing with my data? So I'll be using the updated state of users, which I used. And in this, I'll be writing my data. So now my data will be updated with that, and the set loading part will be false, because if my data is updated, I want the loading should be stop. So now it will be written as false here, because my data has been updated, the state has been updated of the data. This means the updated data has been visible now. Now after the visible updated data, what I want to do, I want to stop my loading now. So I'll be changing the updated state of my loading to false. Fine. So this is what I have done here. Okay, now I'll be using one more thing, dot catch. In case if I am getting any kind of error, how I'll be dealing with that error. So I'll be using a error parameter here in this. I'll be writing the updated state of error, which is very important. So I'll be dealing with that. I'll be writing this parameter here, and whatever the message it will be giving me, I'll be using that as well. And again, I'll be using the set loading part as false. Okay, till now we are completely okay with this. There is nothing to worry about that. And I have to use semicolon here, fine. And okay, fine, fine, fine. So this is done, this is done. And mhm. Okay, so are we forgetting anything or everything is okay? Dependency area is important here, and that's all I think. Yeah, let me just check. Yeah, for now we are okay with the things. Okay, fine. Now what I have to do in this, now as our problem statement was saying something related to including the loading and error states, because it is important. Now we were dealing with the states. Now we have to focus on the part of checking the states. Sorry, writing the states. So I'll be writing some conditions, the if condition first for loading. If loading, then it will return me something. What it will be returning me something? A paragraph which is letting me know something like loading the users, just like this. Okay. So this is for the part of loading condition. If there is any kind of error state I am getting, so in that I'll be returning what? Oh, sorry, guys. I just changed the file by mistake. Yeah, copied here. Okay. In this part, I'll be returning the paragraph in which I'll be saying that we can say anything, error occurred, something like that. Okay, fine. So till now, what we have done, we have just completed the part of error and this. Okay. Now what I have to do? So now I have just written two things here. First for loading and the second for error. Now I have to write the code. By using that code, I'll be uh, writing the UI part. Now we'll be dealing with that UI part here. Okay, so now I am writing the return. In this return, I am just starting this part of div. In this div, I am just creating a heading, a users list. Fine. In this users list, what I'm trying to do, I'll be first creating a unordered list. In this unordered list, I'll be starting with embedding some JavaScript code here. So as I had already users, so now what I'll be doing, I'll be implementing a map function on users. So what is the use of map functions, guys? The use of map functions is to suppose I have a lot of data, but I have to pick all the individual values of that, and I have to map that with some logic, with some mathematical calculation we can understand. So I'll be individually picking the data from the entire user list as you by using a keyword like user. So user will be singular, but users will be the complete list. So I'm just trying to use here users dot map, and in that map function I'll be again creating arrow function. In this arrow function, I'll be dealing with, I'll be just using a simple uh, this. And now in this part, I'm doing right. I'm doing right. Okay. Maybe. So if there'll be any kind of error, we'll be dealing with that. No issues. So now I'm creating a list to map all the users. So from users, I'm mapping individual users, and all that individual users, I'm just creating the list of all that users. So in this list, I'll be just using the key. Key is a very important topic of JavaScript, sorry, of React. So I'll be just using the keys for uh, uniquely identifying my all the users by using their IDs. I can use that according to me, according to the data which I'll be having, and in that date, I can print the data just by using a strong or anything like that. I can use the printing part of my data, like I'll be writing the usernames or whatever the type of data I'm having. So this is what we have done till now. And this is the part which we have completed. I can just write it something like that. Now it will be very easy. Okay, so now my UL has been completed, div has been completed, and I'm just thinking that every important part we have covered here. Let me just uh, make it. Okay, one more thing we forgot, that was exporting this application. So it is important because in the starting part, okay, so export, I'll do one thing, I'll be just exporting it directly here. Export uh, const user list. Okay. Or I can just write something like that as well. Export default user. This is my functional component. It depends on me. Okay, so now this is my user list entire logic. We'll be checking it as well. If there'll be any error which will be coming, we'll deal with that as well. So by replacing this, I am just importing this user list here. Uh, and I have just used it finally, and automatically it imported. So the data which is not useful for me, I am just deleting that, and I am just only taking that part which is important for me. And I'm just uh, thinking that everything should be working here. Okay, so now it is not able to check the data part. Let me again just check if I have done any wrong thing. Command S, and then we'll be again checking. Okay, so as you can see, guys, it is not showing me any kind of data. This means the public API is not working only, maybe. Everything is done. There is no issue in the code. The main thing which is happening here is that there is no post. I can just try for users as well. If there is any user which is, oh, sorry. If there is any user is present, so it should provide me the name of the user list. Yeah, as you can see, so there are few users which I can see on my UI part. So these users are present here, which are in the list format. So what is exactly happening in this? This is the this is the functional component in which I have just created few states. I have just used fetch function in UseEffect as an additional side effect to fetch some data from public API. I am using promises here to check the response of that, whatever the data I'm uh, extracting, to uh, update the state of the data and stop the loading after the updation of the data. And in any case, if I am catching any error, to show that error as well. And here I am just using the states of loading the data and checking the error state of my data. If I am getting error state, so the error state will update and it will just update me with a message like error occurred. And here I am just trying to present the part of my list. But how I am just presenting my list? By using map function. So all the list by using that map function will be uniquely present in the list format just by using key, which will be categorizing it in the uniquely identifying part. So I am using the ID part. So by using that ID, there'll be individual users list which will be visible. So this is what we have done till now, guys. Now I am expecting from you all that you will be completely able to understand this. And in this meantime, I just tried my best to explain you about this simple understanding of React.js. And I'm very happy to share these kinds of things. Okay, so we can do a lot of things in this as well. Now I am giving one task to you to do. The task is you have to replace the promises to async await. As you and me, we both know that the best approach to solve this problem is not promises somewhere. The best problem can be using async await. As we know now in the handling of asynchronous code, async await is much better approach in comparison of promises. And promises are much better than callbacks. So here, this is the task for you. You have to change my promises, my dot then dot catch to async await functions. So this is the task for you. I hope you like this session. Thank you so much.